Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. In this segment, we're going to talk a little bit about fentanyl awareness. I'm here with Ann Fundner.
Hi.
Thanks so much for making time for us here in Atlanta. I kind of ask, your passion for education about this issue is so impactful. Why? What is your why?
Well, my son, who was 15 years old when he died from a counterfeit Percocet, that was not Percocet at all. It was blue pressed powder and illicit fentanyl, which is not the same as pharmaceutical grade, that, they press into this pill that looks identical, um, has the same markings on it. And in a moment of peer pressure with friends, he was encouraged to try something at a new school, freshman in high school. He'd only been there a couple of weeks. There was a new crowd that he really was, I, I can only imagine trying to fit in with. And I'll never know because I can't ask him. But in a moment of peer pressure, he tried something that took his life.
I'm so sorry for your loss. But I have to say, it's so incredible that after such a bright light being taken away from the world, how is it that you manage to keep the education aspect alive, to keep his memory alive through educating other people? How do you find the strength to do that?
Well, I think part of the answers in the question is that it's to keep his memory alive. I sat there and I said, I can't let this happen to another parent. And I literally, that's where my fight came from. And from there, I just started the advocacy. I teach parents now how to talk to their kids about peer pressure mostly, but also talk to them about drugs. So for me, it's about representing all angel families so that this doesn't happen to anybody else's kids.
Well, thank you. On behalf of the community, I'd like to thank you for taking the time and having the strength to do this. Next month in May, there is a National Fentanyl Awareness Day, but what do you want parents to know? Because, like you, many could be completely blindsided.
Yeah, and I was, and so that's why I always say talk to your kids about drugs. We had so many conversations about drugs. You know, I've always been very open about talking about drugs with my kids. This new generation of drugs that are coming in, fentanyl and everything else behind it, which is so incredibly deadly, the nitazines, the adenitazines, the isonitazines, the cart fentanyl, you know, there's a new one that if you try it one time, the withdrawal symptoms will kill you after one time. So I mean, there's just so many different drugs coming behind it. I just want parents to know that yes, you talk to your kids about drugs, but talk to them about how these drugs are very addictive, 50 times more addictive than crack fentanyl is, and the ones coming behind it are even more addictive. And that once you try it one time, it's not a matter of if they're going to die, it's when, because the withdrawal symptoms are so severe that that groomer drug dealer who acts like a sexual predator in the way that they capture these kids to get to try something. They give them something once for free, and then after they've tried it, they know that those withdrawal symptoms are going to start, and they're going to be there to give them another one, but it's going to start costing money. And the kid can't tell their parents they've done something wrong, and that groomer knows that. So they, shame them into trying a little bit more to ease that discomfort that happens just 2 to 3 hours after trying it one time. And they've now got a client. It doesn't matter if it's short term, they have 50 more. And they're going to have another one tomorrow when they give someone else another one for free. So, what I tell parents is these, be aware that these people speak your kids' language, but talk to them about peer pressure because what I believe is the avenue that my son died was through peer pressure. It was the drug that killed him, but it was peer pressure that drove it. So, talk to them about peer pressure, run scenarios, give them the vocabulary to say no. If role play with them and say, if someone says this, what are you going to say? And so that they have a script so that when it happens, they're prepared to say no because it's really difficult. I mean, when we walk through, a sales position at a mall, let's say, and someone, tries to sell you something, it's hard enough as an adult to get out of a really good sales call. So, these kids are young and they're not used to that sort of manipulation. And so it's really important that you run these scenarios and talk to them so that they do have a script and they know how to get out of it when it is presented in front of them. Not my thing, no, my mom's coming soon, or I got something tomorrow, or, just not, no, thank you. And then that's going to give other children a way out too, because once you start that leadership role of saying no, other kids will follow. So you could save potentially other kids' lives by teaching your child just simply how to get out of a situation and run that script so they have the vocabulary and the exact phrase that they're going to use to get out of that.
And thank you so much for your advocacy. Thanks for making time for us here in Atlanta. It was good to meet you.
It was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much for helping to spread awareness.
Absolutely. All right, guys, and each of us can do that. Each of us can step up to the plate to continue to spread awareness. There's nothing more valuable than than the life of children cut short is so devastating. We don't want that to happen to any more parents. Take the opportunity to visit the website that she had listed there, learn more, and step up to the plate. Thanks, guys, for tuning into this segment of Focus Atlanta. We'll be right back.
Pro-Trump warrior